This intense and highly emotional opposition to the Trump presidency, it just continues. Senator Elizabeth Warren using extraordinary language. She says Jeff Sessions will bring, quote, radical hatred to the Justice Department. I'll give you the tweet in full. Here it is. And you better believe every senator who voted to put Jeff Sessions' radical hatred into the Justice Department will hear from all of us too. Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer said his stomach was turned after the confirmation of Jeff Sessions. Listen to this.
When Jeff Sessions was passed, it turned my stomach. I don't have anything against him personally, you know. It's known we're in that gym together in the morning. But to have a man like this with his record on immigration, he's probably almost certainly the most anti-immigrant senator of the 100. On civil rights and voting rights, he's probably one of the top 3 or 4 against these sacred rights, civil rights and voting rights. He doesn't belong there.
Well, joining us now, Congressman Michael Burgess, Republican from the great state of Texas. Congressman, welcome to the program.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
I mean, you can tell from my attitude there, reading into the show. I mean, I find that really shocking, that kind of language. Stomach-turned, radical hatred. What do you make of this?
Well, I feel like I should have gone back to the Senate to perhaps offer Senator Schumer some treatment for his illness.
I mean, is that all you're going to say? I mean, look, I'm incensed at this. I mean, I just can't imagine this outpouring of contempt for our president.
He worked alongside Jeff Sessions for I don't know how many years in the Senate. They were colleagues. Were this something that was bubbling under the surface? You think he would have said something before now.
What's he up to? What is going on here?
It is widespread and complete opposition to all things President Trump. They seem to forget the fact that the American people elected Donald Trump. He won a historic number of electoral votes. He is our president, and he is, in fact, doing the things that he said he was going to do, which is why he got elected. So I think the senator from New York perhaps ought to reconsider his position.
Are you going to play hardball? When Mitch McConnell silenced Senator Elizabeth Warren for her language used against Jeff Sessions, that was playing hardball. Are Republicans in Congress going to do more of the same?
Well, the House is a little bit different place. We play hardball every day. I mean, that is what we do. Someone made the comment, the House is rugby, the Senate is golf. Sometimes the Senate seems like miniature golf. But nevertheless, the House is always a little bit tougher.
You know, I think a lot of our viewers want to see you pound the table, that, you know, they want a more robust position taken by the Republican Party. You're very soft-spoken.
Well, realistically, that's how I made my living practicing medicine. You don't always have to be the loudest voice in the room. But I will tell you this: there is I mean, I am the chairman of the subcommittee that is charged from the House side with getting rid of the Affordable Care Act and helping patients who are in trouble, helping the people who have been hurt by the Affordable Care Act. And 3 elections, 2010, 2012, 2014, and now 2016, the American people said, we don't like this health care law. And now it is up to us as legislators. A lot of affection for Tom Price. I wanted to be sworn in as Secretary of Health and Human Services, but it has to be done at our level, in the subcommittee room, in the committee room. That is the legislative work that has to be done.
When are we going to get a plan to replace and repeal Obamacare? When are we going to see it?
I think you've had a plan, and Speaker Ryan was
Well, when is it going to be presented to the American people? Because they want to know, what have we got coming down the pike here?
Well, what you have coming immediately down the pike is the elimination of the individual mandates, some of the other mandates that are included in the Affordable Care Act. You know, under the Senate rules that require 51 votes to pass a budget reconciliation package, that's the first step. That starts the process. But make no mistake about it, and I understand this and I feel this very acutely. There are people who are at risk of losing their coverage, not because of something a Republican might do, but because of the instability brought to the marketplace by the Affordable Care Act and the previous administration.
But they broke the law. But nobody's going to be left high and dry?
Look, no one can promise anyone anything in this life, but the goal is to stabilize the individual insurance market, which right now is in jeopardy. And when people say, Congressman Burgess, you're a Republican, you're going to take my health insurance away, you know what? Even if I wanted to, I couldn't, because that contract has already been set. And in fact, the data for next year's contracts is already being delivered to the state commissioners of insurance. But what could take their insurance away tomorrow is if the individual companies simply say, we can't do this any longer and we have not the financial wherewithal to do it. Okay. That is the difficulty visited upon them by the Barack Obama administration when they broke the law, taking an appropriation from the Treasury that was never authorized by the United States Congress. We sued them in court. They lost. That's in trouble.
Congressman Burgess, pound the table for us all, would you please? Yes! Good man. Thank you very much indeed. Congressman, we appreciate you being here.
You ask, we deliver.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that.